Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in today. So today we are making rose water. So rose water is really amazing and you can actually make it at home pretty easily. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm peeling the petals from the roses. I have a dozen roses that I'm using, and you can use any color that you want. I opted to get different colors because I just like having all the different aromas. But all you'll see me doing is peeling off the petals and putting it into a bowl until I'm done with all of the roses. Now what you see right here is called guard petals. So these petals actually protect the inner petals. I remove them because they're usually damaged and they don't really look too good. I like to have fresh, undamaged petals to work with, and you just pop them off at the base and then you're good to go. So just like that, pretty easy. And you see you're left with all the good non-damaged petals that you can use. And this part is to show you where I usually stop peeling the petals for the roses. Once I get to this portion of the rose, that's where you start running into seeds and then it starts getting a little bit messy. So I usually don't peel anything past this part of the rose. So now let's get into some of the benefits of rose water. It can soften and firm your skin. It can help enhance and stabilize mood. It helps with digestion, has anti-aging properties. It can soften your hair. It helps tame frizz. I mean, the list goes on. And I use it in my daily morning routine. I use it in my tea, and it is a game changer. So I definitely recommend it. So let's get into making the rose water. You'll need a big pot like this, a lid. Hey, look, it's me. So you're going to invert the lid like that. You'll also need a couple of glass dishes, pretty small ones. I use this one to catch the rose water in. And then I'm going to place them exactly like this into the pot once I'm ready. You're going to need some Ziploc bags. You'll put the ice in this that you'll be needing. And we're about to get started. So I put my first one down, and now we get the rose petals. They are freshly washed. I rinsed them under the water, and that's how much the 12 roses made for this batch. So I'm just gonna evenly spread them out along the base of the pot, and then I'll add in my second dish, and then I'll continue to fill the roses up to the rim of that top dish. And this is what I have left over, but I'll use that later. So now we're going to get some distilled water and just fill that up to cover the petals. You don't need to have them completely submerged, but you do want to cover them. Make sure everything is nice and in place. And then I did let it simmer without the top for about 10 minutes on low heat. And then after that, I placed my inverted lid on the top, just like that. Then grab your ice cubes and put those right on top, and then let that continue to simmer. You can turn up the heat to about medium around this point. Check your ice. This was about 25 minutes or so. I let it go to about maybe 30-ish minutes. That's what the ice looks like after that. And then carefully take your top off, and that's going to be the first batch of rose water that you see in that dish. So that's the rose water that you collected from that batch, and then I just place it into a glass jar to let it cool. And then I'm going to add in the rest of those petals I couldn't fit the first time, and you can add a little bit more water if you need, and then you just repeat the process. So once you repeat the process a few times, the roses should start to lose their color. They'll be completely transparent, And like I said, you can add more water if you need. And you can also strain the water that the rose petals are in and use that as well. I typically use the water that the petals are in for my hair once I've strained everything. I repeated this process about 5 or 6 times until my roses were transparent, and this is the amount that I got from all the 12 roses. The jar on the left was about 2/3 full, but I did use some. So you do get a pretty good amount just from using those 12 petals. And you can use it, like I say, for your hair, your skin, anything. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and be sure to stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you in the next one.